Just $3 for an entire day of food in Vietnam? Can I stay full without cooking a single meal? Hi, I'm new. Today's my roommate's day off, and she's spending the day with her daughter. So I'd like to give them some privacy and space together. Instead of staying home all day as usual, I'll be spending more time outside today. But I only have about $3 for all of my food expenses. I would choose the market as the place to spend $3 for 3 meals a day. This is a stall selling ready-made vegetarian food.
Mua để chiều tối luôn ăn. Mức cho chị chừng 15.000 cái đó cho bà nội luôn chị nha. Về chị ăn nốt.
Now I'm going to take you on a tour of a local market in Vietnam. If you sell vegetables or pastries at the market, how much will you have to pay for rent? Or will you be allowed to sell for free? At first glance, these stalls look very simple, but behind them is a system that has existed for many years. Luckily, I witnessed the heartwarming moment of a son carefully putting a helmet on his father. I'm taking you to Lac Nhiet Market, a market that's been around for a very long time, at least 30 years. I used to think that markets were built by the government and provided free of charge for people to buy and sell, but that was a completely wrong assumption. For example, this vegetable stall would cost around $30 to $50 a month. In the market, location will determine the rental price. Spaces near walkways or with more customer traffic are usually more expensive. Most of the stalls along the roadside, which are easily accessible to customers, will have higher rental prices than those further inside. As for the small meat and vegetable stalls run by the old woman, although they occupy little space, they are located at the intersection of 3 roads leading into the market, making them highly accessible to customers. Therefore, despite the small area, the prices remain unchanged. This is another part of the market. Stalls situated right next to the walkway earn around $30 to $50 per month. Tenants will pay once a year, not monthly. Look at this vegetable vendor in the blue jacket. She's the only one who doesn't have to pay rent because she utilizes her yard, which is right next to the market, to set up her stall. She's so clever, isn't she? And if you have a house next to the market, you'll have a great business opportunity. You can sell goods yourself without having to rent a stall, and you can also rent out the front yard, like this house. They really know how to make money. Or they could set up a motorbike parking area to earn extra income of about 0.01 cents per motorbike.
Yeah.
The rental prices for stalls outside seem high, but what about inside the market? If you look closely, you'll notice that this market is divided into different sections. Each section is designed to suit the type of products being sold there. First is the breakfast food section. This is where you'll find noodle soups, steamed rice rolls, sticky rice, sweet desserts, and many other local dishes. The stalls in this area are usually built lower. Each stall has a counter to display the food, and it also serves as a dining table for customers. What I like most is that each stall usually specializes in one dish. According to local vendors, rents in this section are usually a bit higher, about $20 a month. Next is the vegetable section. This is one of my favorite areas in the market. The vegetables are arranged in colorful displays and look very appealing. You can find almost every vegetable commonly used in Vietnamese cooking. Each stall is solidly constructed with cement and lined with clean tiles. The stalls are L-shaped and approximately 5 to 6 square meters in size. Vegetable prices will be cheaper, so the rent for the stalls will also be cheaper, around $15 a month. Renting 2 stalls would be 12 square meters and $30 a month. There's the fish and seafood section. This area is separated from the rest of the market. It is often located slightly lower than other sections. This makes cleaning and drainage much easier. It also helps prevent odors from affecting other food stalls. Although the market is built quite simply, everything is organized in a practical way. You can easily find motorbikes becoming a symbol of life in Vietnam. People who lack money are always clever and find ways to survive. An interesting fact is that these stalls have clearly documented usage rights. These usage rights are officially recognized under local regulations. This gives vendors confidence to run their businesses long term, but on the condition that they pay rent for 50 to 60 years. And if one day they decide to stop selling, they can often transfer or rent out those rights, according to local rules. Thanks to your continued interest in local markets in Vietnam, I had the opportunity to learn these new things today. Each market has its own rental fees, display designs, and rules. For me, this is not just a place to buy and sell, but also a place to earn a living, a source of income for hundreds of families. This is a very real life in Vietnam. I started to get hungry after more than an hour of wandering around the market. It's time for breakfast. I only have about $3 for all my meals today. This is a stall with many popular Vietnamese cakes, but it's 8 a.m. and she's almost sold out. Only a few left. I decided to buy a piece of white steamed honeycomb cake for 4 cents.
Chị lấy nhiêu? Em lấy nửa đúng rồi. Chị lấy nhiêu chị lấy hả? Chị cảm ơn em. Dạ.
I went back into the market to look for the sticky rice stall I had just passed. It looked delicious. This is the stall I'll buy some sticky rice and eat it in a unique way. Take a look at how she makes this sticky rice sandwich using a Vietnamese hollow donut. She puts on gloves before preparing the food. Then she fills the Vietnamese hollow donut with different kinds of sticky rice. This reddish-orange sticky rice is steamed Mamortica glutinous rice. The white sticky rice is sweet corn sticky rice. Then she carefully packs everything inside the warm, crispy Vietnamese hollow donut. She said, "I'm giving you a little extra so you'll have enough energy to film your videos." She is so cute. You can easily see this in Vietnamese markets. Vendors and customers often chat very naturally. Sometimes they even remember their regular customers. And those little moments are what make markets feel so special. I bought this unusual dish for 40 cents. This is bang bo, a traditional Vietnamese rice cake. Bang bo is Vietnamese honeycomb cake. When you pick it up, you'll notice how soft and airy it is. It's actually so fluffy that if you eat too quickly, you might choke on it. So I always take my time eating it. It's not overly sweet. It's one of those foods that many Vietnamese people associate with childhood. A bag like this comes with 3 pieces, and it costs only about 4 cents. I think it's hard to find a cheaper breakfast than this. This is the breakfast item I was looking forward to the most today. Inside are steamed momordica glutinous rice, sweet corn sticky rice, shredded coconut, and a little sweet salty seasoning. But when you take a bite, all the flavors come together surprisingly well. The outer donut is lightly crispy with the aroma of toasted sesame seeds. Inside is soft and chewy sticky rice. The shredded coconut adds fragrance and a nutty texture, but together they create something truly special. Vietnamese people are very good at turning simple ingredients into memorable food. If you come to Vietnam, try and order this dish called bánh thiêu soy, sticky rice cake. Remember, the price is only from 40 cents to 80 cents. My breakfast cost only 80 cents, and the rest of the food was for lunch. What's interesting is that this is the exact same market I visited this morning, but as evening approaches, it takes on a completely different look. This is a paid parking area in the morning, but by late afternoon, everything starts to change. Tables and chairs begin to appear. Food carts start rolling in one by one. This is where people come for dinner or late-night meals. You can find all kinds of food here. The smell of freshly cooked food fills the market. The sound of conversations grows louder and more lively. In a single day, the same place serves completely different purposes. It shows how creatively Vietnamese people use space. It also creates opportunities for many people to earn a living. As the city lights come on, the market begins a new rhythm of life. I need to choose a table and order my own food, serving myself. This is also a style at the market. Remember the prices and only pay after you've finished eating.
Đậu xăm đi.
Nóng rồi đấy em.
Dạ nóng nhưng mà ít ngọt thôi. Uống đây.
Để em mua đi đậu phộng. Nóng rồi đấy em. Nóng.
This is hot mung bean milk, priced at 30 cents per serving.
Bà ơi, lấy cho con 2 cái này. Dạ ăn ở đây.
Ai chơi đó đâu mà ai chơi ngồi nói rồi. Bà nó tu bằng
Dạ.
2 fertilized duck eggs cost 50 cents.
Còn bắp không vậy? Cá bắp chiên không?
Chưa hết rồi, chưa có gì hết.
Ồ, cũng chưa có đâu.
This is a self-service skewer counter. I'll choose about 3 to 4 types that I like, then pay, and the owner will fry them for me. I added this green skewer to the video to make it look nice. If this place costs more than $1, I'll have to leave 1 or 2 skewers behind. Hopefully they're cheaper than $1.
Dạ con rồi. Con bàn bên kia. Có chứ anh. Cho em 1 chuối 1 khoai.
Rồi em ra đây ngồi đây, chị em ra cho, đây ngồi đây.
Dạ.
A balut duck egg? It costs only about 25 cents. If you're from Vietnam, this is probably a very normal food. But if you're from some other countries, your reaction might be very different. Balut often appears on lists of the world's strangest or most intimidating foods. Every culture has its own unique foods. Very good. It's warm, naturally sweet, and full of flavor. The yolk is rich and creamy. When eaten with Vietnamese coriander and pepper lime salt, the flavor becomes even better. Simple, affordable, and familiar to many Vietnamese people. And what about you? If you ever have the chance to visit Vietnam, would you try eating a fertilized duck egg at least once? The plate of skewers costs $1, and these are 2 cakes that the owner gave me, just for me. I'm so lucky and happy. Many of the food stalls are now full of customers. Evenings are a special time in Vietnam. After a day of work or school, people often go out to eat with family and friends. Some high-income earners will choose restaurants or shopping malls. Others prefer small food stalls like these. But wherever they go, the purpose is often the same. Looking around, I can see many families having dinner together. There are groups of friends chatting and laughing, and couples enjoying their evening together. As for me, I'm sitting here by myself. I don't feel sad. I find it quite normal to eat alone with just my phone.
Dạ con gửi 2 trứng. Bao nhiêu ạ? Dạ thôi được rồi, khỏi tốn, cảm ơn.
It's 8 p.m. now. My day is slowly coming to an end. I'm heading back home. An elderly woman, around 70 years old, still diligently bakes and sells cakes every evening. Truly admirable. Suddenly, it started to rain. But in the middle of the rain, I noticed an elderly woman still sitting here selling her goods. She's wearing a raincoat and quietly waiting for customers. Many international viewers may not know this. In Vietnam, not every elderly person receives a pension. Some receive pensions after years of formal employment or qualifying social insurance contributions. But many people spend their lives working informal jobs or running small businesses. And when they grow old, they continue working to earn income. That's why it's not unusual to see I had a little money left to buy a raincoat and hire a motorbike taxi to get home. These two elderly people are also a typical example of elderly people in Vietnam. They sell groceries to earn money, and some are lucky enough to receive financial support from their children.
Dạ. Dạ, dạ. Rồi, con cảm ơn.
The rain is getting heavier and heavier. The air is getting colder very quickly. I always keep a helmet in my backpack. In Vietnam, it's almost an essential item. I've already booked a ride through a ride-hailing app. Now I'm just waiting for the driver to arrive. Sometimes, after a long day, the best feeling is simply going home.
Lên xe nha anh. Dạ được rồi.
I noticed how much quieter the city became because of the rain. There were fewer vehicles on the road, and many shops were starting to close. In summary, my breakfast cost about 80 cents. Dinner cost about $1.80. But life always comes with unexpected expenses. When the rain started, I had to buy a raincoat for 50 cents, and the ride cost about $1.50. And just like that, my original $3 budget was no longer enough. But I get to eat well, learn more, and share a normal day with you all. Please leave me a heart to show your support.